Townsville is a great place to live, but there's a serious side to living in the north. Cyclones and severe storms can produce flooding rains, lightning, winds greater than 200 kilometres an hour, and seawater being pushed inland, which is known as storm tide. Pay attention to weather forecasts during storm season, which runs from November to April. Keeping informed will help you protect yourself, your family, and your property. A storm tide is a rise above the sea tidal water level along a shore that is associated with a tropical cyclone. Storm tides will be accompanied by gale-force winds with successive waves of seawater rapidly moving across the foreshore. Check the location of your house on the emergency dashboard storm tide layer to see if your property is located in one of the 4 coloured storm tide evacuation zones, and plan your evacuation process accordingly. A storm surge is not the same as a tsunami or tidal wave. A storm surge occurs like a rapidly rising tide, but it can be extremely dangerous and destructive. King tides are a natural phenomenon that result in lower-lying sections of Townsville being inundated, namely around Railway Estate, South Townsville and parts of Hermit Park. The biggest king tides usually take place in January and February. However, if they coincide with heavy rain, water levels tend to be even higher than the predicted level. Townsville tide heights can be checked at www.bom.gov.au/Australia/tides. Avoid parking your car on the street, as salt water can cause permanent damage. Townsville City is built on a natural floodplain and can experience localised flooding. Flooding in Townsville is generally caused by heavy rain from a cyclone or rain depression crossing the coastline. This can sometimes result in local flooding to streets, yards, and in extreme events, homes. In the event of a combination of heavy rain, strong winds and high tides, low-lying areas such as Railway Estate, Unoonba, South Townsville, parts of Hermit Park and beachside communities need to take extra precaution. This means moving items to higher ground where possible. Every year, bushfires put the lives and properties of Queenslanders at risk. You don't have to live in the bush to be threatened by bushfire, just close enough to be affected by burning material, embers and smoke. Townsville, a dry tropics area, is traditionally very dry, and all residents have a part to play in bushfire mitigation. Visit the Rural Fire Service's website for bushfire warnings and to find out more about preparing your home for potential bushfire threats. Even though we most commonly encounter cyclones, storm tide, king tide, flood and bushfire, it's still important to understand the other risks associated with living in the north. Despite the presence of the Great Barrier Reef, the Townsville region can still be affected by a tsunami. Although the reef may reduce the impact of a tsunami, the scale of impact depends on what caused the tsunami, how far away the event is, and where it is in relation to Townsville. An earthquake is shaking and vibration at the surface of the earth caused by energy being released. Landslides are generally caused by heavy rain. The rain saturates the soil on a hillside, then slips down the hill, taking whatever is on the land with it. Pandemic influenza is a worldwide outbreak of disease that can occur when a new strain of influenza, to which people are not immune, emerges and spreads. For more information, visit Council's Emergency Management Dashboard.